Well, hello guys, hello. Welcome back to the Big Fat Psychic channel. I'm so pleased to be reading again for you today. Okie dokie, so we're on the last day to ask, so series 5, episode 6. I'm releasing them all today because I need to crack on with your normal readings, okay, so sorry for that, I've been busy. If you've looked at any of the data us at the beginning, I'll tell you what I've been up to. And it's bloody interesting as well. Okay, so. What is this I am reading about a new woman in Harry's life? A blonde, is it true? Are they in a serious relationship? And does the current Mrs. know this? Is he looking to remarry? Maybe have real children? Oh, well, let's have a look then. So, in the past, we had a blonde woman with children as well. A blonde woman who went to see him in rehab. I kind of felt like she worked there. So let's have a look. Because I also did mention about Chelsea Davy, and she fitted that as well, but I'm not sure whether it was. Okay, so it was in Invictus that this came up. Okay, so does Harry have a new love in his life? He's hankering after Chelsea. He can't let go. He's hanging on to something which he sees as romantic and sentimental and nostalgic. And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, when you split up with your first love or a true love, you often think back and try and reminisce, and, you know, it's kind of perfect where you are. He feels it was perfect. The thing is, he can't. I think he has been with somebody. Because I got the last time we did something like this that she was sick of Meghan. So did Harry's brief relationship end because of Meghan? There's no escaping her. Well, you got that right, being a coward. I feel the idea of wanting to be with somebody was different to the actual physical. He wasn't able to get away with Meghan. She's got his kids. She was kicking up a drama. In Invictus, she was begging him, don't leave me, don't leave me. Simply not strong enough. Not strong enough. How did he meet this woman? So he dropped out of Meghan's life. I kind of feel it was rehab. Still rehab. I'm not saying they went there for drugs, but what I do see is like burnout, emotional burnout. Rather than face his problems, he goes hard and pays, I don't know, 1,500 quid a week, you know, for false therapy. Yeah, education, training. So I think that's like a place for him to go and try and focus on things, learn things. Did Meghan know about this lady? Because a lot of people said Ellie Goulding, but I didn't get Ellie. Harry met this lady when he was at his lowest. How did Harry feel about the lady? We'll get to Meghan in a minute. How did Harry feel about this lady? paranoid. You know, paranoid that he'd go and she'd go and tell somebody or distort the truth, make more of it. And he'd lied to her. He wasn't entirely honest with her. I think that's the big thing. He wasn't honest with this woman. What happened between them both? So I'm getting a short episode, so you could be looking at weeks after. People say you shouldn't get involved with people when you're in a rehab and recovering. But like I say, this is more mental. He didn't make false promises, but he did distort things, okay? So she couldn't understand when at Invictus, all she was seeing was Megan declaring her undying love, you know, when she went up and looked pissed. Yeah, exaggerated. He distorted the truth, and she says he exaggerated the truth. It says it. So what happened? She doesn't feel included. So maybe he wasn't ringing her as much either. I don't see him outright blanking her, but I do see that she didn't feel included in his life. So the plans he was making afterwards, it wasn't. So what did Megan know that Harry has met somebody? Did she suspect? Did she know? Oh, she knew. She was watching him like a hawk. She accused him of flirting. She's always said that about Harry. You're a flirt. She was doing everything possible, using the kids, using her body, using her words, everything. The love bombing. Is this woman why they was arguing at Invictus? Absolutely. She was convinced he was going to leave her. This is a future relationship, not their relationship. Yeah, she knew. She's using the project. She was ringing him. You have to get back here to do this. We need to do that. I need a pap walk. I need somebody to hold my bag. Does Harry regret this person, letting this person go? No, yeah, and he hasn't spoke to her since. Okay, they broke up. Not committed. Harry will find it very hard to get rid of Meghan. She doesn't want him, but she doesn't want anybody else to have him either. She's done the job on him, really. If he'd have been single, I think he'd have gone for it. She didn't. So this girl, how did this girl feel about Harry and Meghan's show at Invictus? Because she was fed up. How did the girl feel, or woman? Nobody wants to take on Meghan Markle. Nobody. And it was far too much trouble than it was worth. She wasn't sure of Harry. She enjoyed the briefness But Harry's unreliable. He goes back and forth. And then seeing that on the stage, and she's gone home to Valentine's Day. Those was all for that woman. That was it. The stage, a stupid speech, everything. It was all about this other woman. And she could see that Harry was not coping. She's like a bad ex. That's what it is. A bad, nasty ex. She knew she was going to create problems and that there would be problems in this relationship as well. She's not daft. She could see it. She didn't want to make things worse neither. I mean, that would have been her whole life, wouldn't it? Having a fling and then getting ruined by Harry and Meghan. But let's just ask, is he still in love with Chelsea Davy? Is this just a player? Excuse me. It's just a player. And he knows that he wants everything that he can't have. He's a player. And she wasn't going to have that. She's stable. She's got a family, a husband who loves her and cherishes her. Good family life, Still friends with Catherine and William. She thought he was going to, make up. She thought she could talk some sense into him at the beginning. But obviously he can't. And everything he said went straight back to Meghan. Does Meghan ever bring it up about Harry and this girl? Well, she would do, because she goes on about things from 20 years ago, and this was only less than 20 months. I'd say it was August, September. Forgot the question. Meghan, did you... Yeah, go on then. How did Meghan feel about Harry having eyes for somebody else? Begged him. I promise you, things will get better. I know they're tough at the moment, and I've made you go to a rehab thing, forced you into it. She didn't want it. She didn't want her idea to go in. It was his. Despair. Oh, the tears. I'm not safe. This happened to your mother. Does Meghan ever throw it back in his face? Does she ever bring it up since? I would say so. She can't help herself, can she? Yeah. So she starts off with the love bombing. I'll support you. I'll do anything for you. You can talk to me. You don't need to talk to anybody else. She's documented this. It's like she's excessive. That's a safety net. You do this, Harry, and I'll tell everybody that. Well, he wasn't cheating on her. So when Harry met this woman, what was the situation then between him and Meghan? Because he might have been a cheater in the past, but he's no way going to cheat on her. What was the situation? What was the status of their relationship? Meghan was busy. They was hardly seeing each other. He's played right into her hands. What was the status? I get great news. No, she knows Harry was attracted. That's why she was begging, don't leave me. Travel, busy. Lots of texts, communications. She's got all that. Has Meghan got screenshots of Harry's phone? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But he's tried telling her, you know, she's just a friend and stuff. Well, that's not allowed. Can't speak to your dad. You can't speak to this woman either. This is around Invictus, but he disappeared for quite a while. I think 3 months. I'd say 10 weeks. Yeah, she's screenshotted. There's loads of messages on his phone from her that is vile, spiteful, done in anger, and a lot of swearing. Oh yes, a lot of swearing. Will Harry marry again after Meghan? Oh yes. Oh, that came out quick. Yeah, but it'll be the same paranoia. He's so afraid of not meeting anybody, you know, who can cope with him, because it's not like a relationship like me and you have, normal, where you can just move on from one person to the next. I think he would be very afraid of getting married again because of the money. His divorce is going to be so horrific. Oh my God, if you thought you'd been to war in Afghanistan, Harry, you've seen nothing yet. She's got more hand grenades than I don't know what. I think he'll be a pauper with nothing. I really do. I think he'll be, you know, years ago up there, and now nothing. He won't have a title. He won't have the money. His family don't want anything to do with him. Now, on the other side, I have to say, when you're in a shit relationship like that, they play with your head. They make you feel like you're not good enough for anybody. Everything you do is wrong. Can't get things right, you know, they really do chip away at your confidence. And the problem with Harry is he was never that confident, really, okay? Well, he was after a drink and a few wet smokes and whatever else, powder, but he isn't a secure person. He seems to, he's not a leader. He's a sheep. Is he a sheep in wolf's clothing or a wolf in sheep's clothing? Anyway, he's one of them. He's not a leader. Everything he does is for validation and approval, much like his missus. They deserve each other. In my language, you would call Harry a wuss. At least my husband answers back. I am quite dominating and I am quite controlling, I suppose. I don't control where he goes or anything, who he talks to. I can't get him out the house fast enough. I invent reasons for him to go out. I beg him to go, you know, have a night out with his dad. It's him, he's the other way. He doesn't like it if I go out. Don't tell him till the day. That's what you do. Half an hour before you're going out, boom, gone. I'll see you later. Because he won't text me in front of my sister-in-law or anybody. He wouldn't embarrass himself like that. And I wouldn't answer my phone anyway. Are Mike and Zara Tindall? But he answers back, you know, so if I ever got him, or he has a go at me, that's the way it is, we're equal. Are Mike and Zara Tindall as happy as they seem? Oh, I think they are. They're natural. They're easygoing. down to earth, you know, normal, no pretense at all. Okay, so Zara and Mike, a happy couple. So one of them has a form of depression, okay, been struggling for a while. I see it as caring. This isn't an angry card. It's not vindictive. No, nobody's cheating. It's just that there is like some kind of illness there. So one of them supports the other. I can't imagine it's either of them really, but we'll ask. I think a lot's been put on him. I think, you know, Charles, the Queen, it's affected all their family. Is it Zara unhappy? Just yes or no, please. It's Zara. Well, we all go through them. Called women's troubles, okay? Women's troubles. What is the cause of Zara's unhappiness? Somebody's cancer. I don't know what is in the water over there at all. Serious long-term health issues. Yes, I know, Universe. Does Zara worry about having cancer? No. It's somebody else's cancer who's not coping. Is it King Charles's cancer? Yes. It's a real effort to be, you know, happy, full of the joys of spring when you're going to lose somebody and you know about it. Putting on a brave face, that's what they do. Put on a brave face. I don't know, can you imagine the conversations that you would have? What about the marriages of Eugenie and his sisters, Edward and his wife? Okay, how's the marriage with Eugenie, please? Stressful. Stressful. I think Eugenie's marriage will end. I'm not saying right now, because, you know, you go for a few years, 7 years, of keep trying, keep at it. I'm in the royal family. Divorce doesn't look good. How does Eugenie feel about her husband? They're together, but I'm not seeing a lot of love. Okay, I think the last 2 years have been pretty difficult for Eugenie for whatever reason, and I also feel like they're ships that pass in the night sometimes as well. So there ain't enough quality time there. So her husband may be travelling, maybe she's travelling. In, out, in, out. Will Eugenie divorce from this marriage eventually? she's going to feel like she's been taken for a ride in the end, okay? We're looking at money as well. Getting into debt. So I feel like someone is getting into debt here, causing instability. They row over money, row over debts. And I think somebody is a bit of a gambler as well. Is Eugenie or her husband into gambling? I don't think it's gambling. I think that more or less they're done. You're keeping up something for the show of it, waiting, for the right time to announce this and not bring any more attention to the royal family. So that's why they're kind of keeping it together. I wouldn't be surprised if these two spend more and more time apart. How about Beatrice and Edward? Do you know what? Going back to Eugenie, I just think he can be a bit of a knob sometimes. How about Eugenie and... No. Beatrice. News delayed. They're delaying something. I don't think it's a divorce, but I think they're delaying something. So they could have problems with maybe one of the children. What's the relationship like between Beatrice and her husband? Oh, they argue a lot. Well, tell me who doesn't in a marriage, but this is like a failed partnership as well. How does Beatrice feel about Eugenie's marriage? They might have even like been separate places. I'm getting it doesn't happen that way. It's not what we see. So I think Eugenie is like for appearance. How does Eugenie see Beatrice's marriage? Eugenie sees that Beatrice is in denial about her relationship as well. Well, they're very close and they're supporting each other, but I have to say, I think both of these marriages will fail. I'm sorry. Edward and his wife. How's Edward and his missus's marriage? I don't feel Edward's marriage is in trouble, and it's certainly not going to end in divorce, but there is stress there, and I think that's to do with their family, maybe having to take on extra duties, or, there's stress there. Tell you what they need to do. They need to take a break and go on a long holiday. I don't feel like Edward's got long. Was alright when I nearly said that Edward's not got long for this world? Yes or no? Oh, he's poorly. And they're lying, to keep it up. They're having to lie, but somebody's going to reveal this. They're all coming down with some serious stuff. It's as if you see quite a lot of the family disappear through illness. There's the stress. It's not good for him. Other than that, they're okay. They're just, you know, getting through it. And as well, you know, when you know somebody's dying, like King Charles, they're reluctant to come forward and moan about their problems, you know, because they're like, well, he's terminal, so we'll just hold off. Will Keir Starmer get a position in the EU after he resigns from being the UK's Prime Minister? What an excellent question. Will he? Will he go to the EU? Because we got in another Dare to Ask that I've done today that he was waiting for the go-ahead on something. Will Starmer get a position in the EU? No. I don't think he would be allowed to for some reason. What blocks Starmer from going into the EU? Well, I'd say they're not interested. 2 of ones reversed, no response. So he's probably put, you know, it out there that I'd be interested, but no one's taken him up on it. But I expect an announcement. I'm getting less than 2 weeks. So we're getting less than 2 weeks? No. It'll come when it comes. The decision's already been made. But what would Starmer do after he resigns or after he's no longer Prime Minister? What will he do after that? It feels to me like you get rid of him in that position and he ends up somewhere else. I'm getting pulling stunts here. He's not going to disappear and go into hiding. Stealing what's yours. Stealing what's yours. Will he continue in the government? No, I think he'd go overseas, you know. So he'll tell you he's doing something, but he's not doing it. It's damaging. This is damaging. Whatever it is, what he's done, what he gets done for, is damaging. Nobody will want him, especially if he's found out to be supporting the Ukraine. As Keir Starmer being giving money to the Ukraine because of his own personal reasons. Oh yeah, so no one's going to want him. It's fraud. Absolutely, he's been setting himself up nicely. He's on Ukraine's payroll. I have to laugh. Putin, okay. I don't think that was the real Putin if you saw the interview. His face does look bloated and different, and it also looks shiny, you know, where he's had the skin maybe pulled back. So let's have a look. Was it really Putin on the interview I saw? No, so I'm right. He's had facial wear. Okay, but this guy, who was a legend to be Putin, turned around and said his own people don't like him. He can't even stop a rubber boat, and his people don't like him. Well, that's high praise indeed, isn't it? You know, I was smiling when he said that. But yeah, it's not the real Putin. The real Putin, I feel, is looks older, tired, gaunt. That's it, gaunt. You know, their cheeks. The fat deposits going there, you would notice. So Starmer's in a very, very bad situation to be. The EU won't want him. Love your laugh and honesty. Oh, thank you very much. I know I just can't help myself, but, you know, I've said before in life, Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Do you need anything? No, I'm fine. You know, I lied about everything, me. Where I was going, what I was doing, who I was seeing, what money I was spending on, and all sorts. So it took a lot, really, to learn to tell the truth. So if you're ever tempted to lie, say nothing. Just don't say nothing, and you don't have to explain your life. I know I give it a good go sometimes, and I share personal stuff with you, but you know, there's always a funny side to things. I've just confessed that I threw my brother down the stairs. What I didn't tell you is my other little brother, who was a pain in the ass one night, went to my home, and because he thought he had the right, he was trying to barge in, and the babysitter was real upset, the childminder. And when I come home, and she told me, well, the next morning, I got up, and I had a bat. So I went in. I had to walk about half a mile, by the way, with this bat. I knew what I was going to do to him. My mum's neighbour, who always looked after the house and my brother, I opened the door. She saw what I had in my hand, and she went, please don't, you'll kill him. I said, no, what? It'll be all right. Went upstairs. I made sure the quilt was on him, and I gave him a few beats, okay? But in them days, you could. That's the way you dealt with things. I was from a rough area, to be fair. Went to a school, you had to fight your way up there and all, which I did with no problem. I was never a bully, but I didn't like people picking on vulnerable people. We called them wimps, okay? So I was the wimp girl. Every wimp that was getting bullied would come to me, they're crying. I could spot it a mile away as well. In the end, I didn't have to whack anybody. I just told them with my face, do that again, you'll have to come through me. So yeah, that's the way it is, you know, that's the way we was. I mean, I'm not normally violent. My mum slapped us around a bit. I think that's what took it, took it out of us. We had no fear in the end. But yeah, it sounds bad, but it wasn't that bad. Okay, love it. Thank you. We're done. Okay, guys, that's it from me. Tuck in. You've got about 3 or 4 videos, I think. Maybe 3. And I will be back with you on your screens tomorrow. Okay? Bye now. Bye-bye.